Hello, and welcome to Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sallie, joined by my co-host, Katie. We're identical twin sisters. We invite you to join us as we investigate our similarities and differences in all things life has to offer. Hello, and welcome to Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sallie.
And I'm your other host, Katie.
Okay, so we are so excited to get started today. This week, we are recording not one episode, but 2 episodes. So, welcome! Woohoo!
We're really happy though because we keep getting more listeners, so we're really excited. So thank you, Mother Willow.
Thank you, Mother Willow.
And thank you to everybody that's been listening.
Yes, we are. Just a shout out to her. We've been neglecting her again. Poor Mother Willow is just looking at us from wherever she is in our mind's eye and very disappointed.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We remembered her today. But yeah, so we're recording this episode. We are so excited. It's going to drop right before the full moon. This weekend has been a big one. Do you have any updates from this weekend?
I mean, other than your book signing, not really.
Yes, I had my book signing. That was kind of a very, very weighted question because I knew Katie was going to say that. And I
set you up or you set me up.
I wanted her to mention it.
Mention my book signing.
Just mention how great it was.
Yeah.
No, but it actually was so amazing. Shout out to Barrel of Books in Mount Dora, Florida, because they were sweethearts and oh my God, they were so nice. When I asked them about doing a book signing, they just were the nicest, most welcoming people ever. Self-publishing can be quite the journey. So it is so awesome when other people who are into books help you.
I think it's just cool to see the local community supporting locals.
Exactly.
You know? And I feel like that's the core of Mount Dora.
For sure. I know.
Yeah.
If you ever visit Florida and you're like, I want something different to do, go to Mount Dora.
Yeah.
It's like a cute little town.
Place. Yeah.
Yeah. Do a ghost tour with American Ghost Adventures and
go to Wolf Branch Brewing.
And oh my God, we're plugging so many people.
Yeah.
And stop by Barrel of Books because they're amazing.
That's fantastic.
But I think like my biggest takeaway from this weekend was I, first of all, was so nervous to do a book signing. Basically, I had the table set up right in front of the bookstore because it's an outdoor venue space, I guess you could say, and people walk past. And I can be very chatty and talkative, but when it was me like behind a table with my own books, it was so uncomfortable.
You were just like so nervous.
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I told my husband to give me a baby to hold as like a comfort child because I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Give me one of the children.
Yes. But Katie was a big help. I would say every hour she'd stop by with a mimosa. And by the end of it, I was selling books like left and right. By the end, when I was like warmed up, I was so happy.
Well, I said you just have to loosen up. Once you loosen up, all you have to do is talk to people. And sure enough, she met so many people that had gone through the adoption journey or had adoption in their family. And I think that was really special.
That was my favorite part of it. And, naively, because this is my first time doing things like this, I didn't even think of that. I honestly went in and was like, maybe some people I know will show up. And maybe I'll sell a couple books. But my favorite part of it all was hearing other people's adoption stories.
Yeah.
And so many people came up to me to share theirs. And I honestly was like, thank you so much. Like, that was the coolest part of it.
Yeah. I think that the cool thing was that the people that went home with the books weren't friends and family. They were people that really related to the book and were interested to read it because they had adoption impact their life. So I think that it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I felt like I should have been paying them because they were giving me their stories.
Yeah,
and I was like,
right?
I love this. Thank you. So that was a really pleasant surprise. And I would venture to encourage any writer or author or honestly any creative that is trying to like promote something or sell something to go out and talk to people because it made my heart so full.
I think that I'm always, and this is weird because I feel like I shouldn't be, but I think that now that I'm becoming more localized within the community, I'm always surprised to see how good the support is from your local community. And that's something I want to encourage everybody, though, to like get closer to the community you live in, because people want to help you out.
It's really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Their support was huge, and I bought Susie and Scott, Sally's children, way too many toys.
I know. She also, not only did she give me a mimosa every hour, she brought me pizza. she walked my kids around, and my kids were saying they went shopping, which means they went and pointed to things they wanted, and Aunt KK couldn't say no. So anyway, but I do want to shout out. I do want to shout out to all my friends and family that came also, because that meant the world to me. But the new friends that came from it, also shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't expect it, and it's so cool.
Yeah, cool.
So anyway, that was a big thing this weekend. Yes, I did just plug myself, but you know,
that's okay. We're gonna take advantage of the platform we have.
Yes, I know. We don't know why people are still listening to us. It's pretty cool.
But it is cool. We do need more suggestions, though, because like if anybody really wants to hear something or have us discuss something, let us know, because we love getting suggestions.
Also, we can see like who is watching from certain locations. So who is our England?
We have an England listener.
Yes.
So we've now reached 3 countries, which is so exciting.
I know, but I was just like, who is it over there?
Wait,
no, that's not a good accent.
If it could be Taylor Swift, but I know she's probably not going there as much anymore.
I want whoever it is to just come invite us to England, because
tea and crumpets.
We would love to come to a pub. I'm horrible with accents, but I can be British.
That was terrible.
Okay, well, we're from Wisconsin. I've been trying to get rid of that accent.
We are so excited that we've reached 3 countries now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes, thank you.
So do you want to talk about the new moon, or the full moon? Full moon coming up?
So the reason I wanted to do this episode this week is because the full moon, which is a pink moon, it is on the 23rd of April. And shout out to the pink moon, because that sounds beautiful. But we had talked about in a previous episode about manifesting on a new moon. Mm-hmm. So new moons and full moons are totally opposite things.
Yeah.
But since there's a full moon, I wanted us to talk about kind of some of our rituals we do around a full moon, and share that with you guys, because a lot of people had feedback about our new moon manifestations.
Yeah. I think that,
and sorry, this is not a debate, but we are going to get into
this. Isn't a debate, but it's also just our belief. You can believe entirely different.
Yeah.
We don't swear by this, but this is what we do. On new moons, as I mentioned, we manifest, and that's just kind of a fun thing we do. We find a really beautiful location. It's always Lakeside Inn in Mount Dora.
Oh my God, we're plugging them so hard.
We're plugging Mount Dora so hard.
You're going to have a whole vacation set up after this. You can go to all these locations.
Oh my gosh, but you'll never go anywhere more beautiful. Anyways,
it's so
that's
pretty.
Usually where we manifest, but where we do
out by the water.
Full moon is different for us, because that is an opportunity to release things you've been holding on to. Mm-hmm. So anything that's been weighing you down or extra baggage you have, I suggest you write it down on a piece of paper, you release it. You could burn it even, which we've done.
Do you want to talk about what your typical full moon is like? Because we might do it different. But Katie has also hosted full moon parties, and that's when you do kind of more of like a ritual, I'd say.
I'll do well, we've never really talked about it, actually, but I'm so
that's why we're talking about it.
I'm very into tarot. When I was on my journey of self-discovery, I got very into it. When I would travel different places, there would be things I did, and during my travels, I'd always try to seek out a psychic or a spiritual community, and sometimes it'd be like,
slow down your voice,
multiple
psychic
or spiritual people.
We talk fast.
We do. I get excited, but I would just pick their brain about, how they tap into their higher self, and something that everybody who does tarot would say would be, everybody can do it. It's really used as a tool. It's not this special gift that you have. As long as you trust your intuition, you are capable of doing tarot. And The thing is, with every response you receive in tarot or in any kind of uh, spiritual mediumship or I would say intuitive practice, you just have to trust the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
your gut
your
instinct.
gut instinct is key.
Mhm.
So, when I do tarot, I usually pull
So wait for the full moon.
for a full moon. I
Okay.
usually do tarot as well. So
That's why we're talking about
that's
it.
why we're talking about it. So I'll try to wrap it up real quick. But usually do tarot for myself and the people that come over for a full moon ceremony. Usually I have a pot in the middle of the table that like this sounds so ridiculous.
I mean,
but it is what it is.
It is what she
This
does.
is what I do. So
I have attended 2 of these.
yeah. So
Yes.
I'll burn sage, uh, and that's kind of and usually it's like incense. It's not always sage necessarily. Sometimes I just burn incense or candles. I put a pot in the middle of the table. I'll pull people's tarot. We'll have music on in the background because what I like to do is I'll have music on random. So like when I'm pulling tarot to certain people, if there's a song coming on or like I like to pay attention to lyrics as well. I very much trust everything happening around us at the time. So if there's a specific song or lyric that comes through while I pull a certain card, it is in alignment. And that's just something I absolutely believe. So if you believe it,
Even if you don't, it's
yeah,
fun.
it's just fun.
Yeah.
So then we'll write down what we want to release on a piece of paper and we'll throw it in the pot and then we'll light it on fire.
And sometimes your tarot pull kind of inspires you or validates what you need to be letting go of.
Yeah.
You know, because it'll hit on certain points and you'll be like, that's exactly what I feel like I need to release.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like this full moon, I am going
what are you letting go of?
I'm letting go of financial stressors because
Oh, okay.
I have a habit of
Eat it.
worrying all the time about money. Because I'm a single parent, obviously.
Mhm.
But like it's just kind of this thing that like weighs me down and it's not doing any good for me. Like it's not fixing a problem, it's not helping. It's just kind of like this heavy pressure I put on myself. So I really really want to release that this full moon and the fear of not having enough. So that's aligned or those are connected to me, like money and not having enough and not
Mhm.
having enough in the way of like if something happens, I'm not going to be able to figure it out because I don't have the finances.
Yeah.
I'm trying to release it because I'm just going to accept like I'm taken care of. The universe is there for me and this is something that I don't have to think about constantly.
So I think we should also ask, like, what was it that you let go of last new moon or the last new moon not new moon.
Full
I'm
moon.
so sorry. Full moon. Full moon. Full moon. The last full moon, what you asked to let go of, because I want people to see like that you've done it. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember the party we had, you let go of something that had
I
to do
let
with
go
work.
of
Do you remember that?
Yeah. So when we did it that time, I was letting go of title. Like I
Mhm.
did not need a specific title to feel validated. And I said to myself at the time, although because I was really fixated on getting recognized for what I was doing and I was really fixated on title for a long time and I was like I'm letting go of the title
Yeah.
because if it never comes I know that every day I get to wake up and do something I absolutely love and I'm in these meetings that I would have wished for, when I was younger,
Yeah.
and
But you let go of it on the full moon.
I let go of it completely. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm dropping it. I'm not going to think about it anymore. It does not matter to me anymore because I'm what I'm doing is what I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So the title does not matter anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did get a new
I
title.
ended up getting the title.
But
But
letting go of it was probably part of it.
Letting go of it was huge.
Because like we've kind of said with manifestation, you need to release it. So if Katie was constantly worried about this title,
which I had been for
years,
2 years, yeah.
it helped her to release it. So I want to say, first of all, my last full moon party, I guess you could say, that Katie and I had, I let go of, I think I was letting go of people's perception of me, like worrying about people's perception of me. Um, I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but I wanted to start showing up as my authentic self, to people, and seeing what that allowed into my life. So I was going to say no to like basically not showing up as myself. And I did let it go. And I will say so much positivity, love, just good opportunities have flown into my life now that I've released it. It's crazy. Yeah, like showing up as my authentic self has actually like helped me. I wrote a whole freaking book after I could let that go. So like I think there are things that when you let go, it creates space for more like better things.
Totally.
This full moon, I think I'm going to let go of, and this I always have trouble with, but I really do need to let go of it because I'm getting more on my plate and I need to get to a place where I feel comfortable, but not feeling guilty for saying no.
Okay, that's a good one.
For like, because people will ask me to do certain things and I always feel so terribly guilty. I'll either say no and then be like remorseful for a full day, or I say yes, I'll do it. And I just pile things on top of my life.
Yeah, and no is a full sentence.
Yeah. Thank you, Olsen twins, for telling us that.
Thank you, the Olsen twins.
No is a full sentence, but I always feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And even though I'm showing up as my authentic self, I still feel guilty when I feel like I'm letting people down. So this full moon, I am releasing that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Honestly,
but how I will do it is probably just say to the universe or God or the moon, I'll probably just say like the night of the full moon, I'm releasing feeling guilt around saying no to opportunities that are not for me or do not bring me happiness.
And I think that no matter what you believe, this is something that you can do, and it doesn't have to be like attached to like witchcraft or woo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is just a positive practice because nothing happens instantaneously. You're not like casting a spell. You're literally just acknowledging it. It's almost like making a promise to yourself, and you'd be so shocked and in 6 months where you'll be if this is something you do. And I think that the moon phases is just kind of like a check-in with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like it keeps you aligned and like recommitted to that purpose. But like we use the moon, but you could use anything. But I do think checking in on a monthly
you could do
basis,
this every 5th Monday or,
exactly.
like, but we believe in the power of the universe and the moon. But also I do think that's a good point, is that it's also just good to check in with yourself once in a while and be like, okay, what do I need to release? Because this is really stressing me out.
This is heavy.
Yeah, this is heavy, or this is really, I'm happy in this area of my life, but this is really weighing me down. So I think in general, just self-reflection, I mean, that's what this does for us.
Totally.
So anyway, everyone, we're wishing you a happy, happy, happy full moon, a pink moon. So have a ladies' night out pink party. That's what I think I'm gonna do.
I think you need to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do we have a debatable topic?
Yes, we do have a debatable topic.
Because I could talk about the moon forever. So if you guys want to hear more, let me know.
Yes. Please tell us, like, somebody had just told me that they listened to our manifestation episode, and that's why I brought up this. But if there's something that hits harder, you're like, oh, that's really intriguing, please reach out to us. Like, we will cover it.
We could talk about anything forever.
I know.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Just shut us up.
I'm the problem.
No, don't shut us up. Give us more things to talk about. So, oh, Katie. Oh, Katie.
Oh, Sallie.
Oh, Taylor Swift. Okay, so our debatable topic today. So it is currently, I think it's wedding season.
Is it wedding season? Like, what makes something? Is it just spring?
I think spring is wedding season. It's like nice weather.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
We're in that like kind of like sweet spot where all of our friends are already married, so we don't need to go to any more weddings. Go to any more weddings.
Sweet spot, where like everyone's
married.
Yeah, I mean the next wedding I have is probably like your future one.
If you choose, it would take a lot for me to get married again. But if that happened,
blah blah blah, it'll probably happen. So.
I'm also excited for the day I get to say yes and pick a new dress, and
I'm excited too.
And all that
I'm excited to pick my dress. Or my pantsuit. I cannot wait.
Oh my goodness. I would love to get married in a pantsuit.
No, you can't get married. I'm going to wear a pantsuit next to you. You're going to wear a dress for your wedding. I'm going to decide.
It's fine. We'll have to throw a party. So we just like throwing parties.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. New moon party. Okay. Katie might get married party. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, I think it's wedding season. If I'm wrong, correct me. But there's a lot of weddings going on. And I've heard some talk about people who invite their exes to weddings.
Oh.
And yes.
That's interesting.
And this is my debatable topic. And I'm going to start really baseline. Do you think you can be friends with exes?
I am not friends with any of my exes. So it hasn't worked out for me.
Okay, so like that's crazy.
But I have friends that have exes that are friends. And specifically one who's friends with a lot of her exes.
What?
I'm serious. And
is she like a magician? Like what?
No,
how?
I don't know how she does it. I'm always like, how?
Okay, so my answer is a no too. I don't think you can be.
But people do it. But, okay, my theory on this, I have a theory.
Do you think you can? So can you?
I can't.
Okay, I can't either.
I cannot be friends with my exes.
I mean, maybe now I could. But like not like it's kind of like our thing where we were like we can't be friends with like boys.
I think an ex is like riding a bike. Once you've done it, it'd be really easy to pick back up again.
But you're single, so yeah, that makes sense. For me, I'm clear
single.
Oh no, you're not single.
I'm not married.
She's not married.
But I'm
okay.
Not. Okay, but I also think that
she's not married.
I think that for everybody. I feel that for everybody. If my partner right now started talking to his ex and we're like, we're friends, I'd be like, I bet she's like riding a bike.
Like she's very comfortable for you?
Like it'd just be easy to pick back. It would take like one conversation of them saying something you always wanted them to say because clearly they weren't good enough when you were together. But if they said the right words, you'd be like, I've been there, done that. Maybe it will work out this time.
So how does it get to a point where you are friends with your ex enough to invite them to a wedding?
Okay.
Like your wedding.
The only way I think that works is if you were childhood friends. Maybe.
I don't
because when you're a child or when you're young and it's been like over 10 years, maybe you could be like,
oh my God.
What?
No. I'm going to disagree. You cannot invite exes to your wedding. And not even if you're childhood friends, because Katie tried this once. I'm not even kidding. And you need to hear how it happened.
Okay, it was a terrible mistake.
Okay.
It was a mistake. Okay. And honestly, he and I don't really
talk. They were childhood friends.
We don't talk anymore.
We don't talk anymore. Is that Charlie Puth?
Cue that song. Yeah. I don't even know.
And I wonder why they don't talk anymore. Because she invited him to her freaking wedding.
Okay, this is not an ex, by the way. I want to like put that out there. He was my childhood best friend.
No, Katie. Oh my God.
Let me explain it.
No, you are not explaining it correctly.
Okay, she can explain it first.
Katie was in love with him.
As a child.
Yes or no?
As a child, I thought I was in love with him.
Katie was in love with him.
As a child.
They shared physical activity.
He was like our first.
Okay. They shared physical activity. He was a douchebag and never gave her the girlfriend title. But you guys had history and you shared physical activity together.
Why do you say physical? That is the weirdest way to say intimacy. Physical. We played marathon. We were playing soccer together.
Football, hockey, gymnastics. No, we did it all.
This is the weirdest.
Well, I was trying to be like,
I'm so nervous for your children when you have to have the sex talk. How you're going to explain it to them? They're going to be, what are you talking about physical activity?
Okay, the only reason I couldn't, I'm not good at thinking of words, but I couldn't think of the word to not be like, oh, they did X, Y, and Z. I wanted to just say they had some physical activity.
He was my first kiss, and we like, I would say first a lot of things.
That's what I said.
Okay, so is that what you mean by that?
Yes, that's what I mean by that.
But we were just friends. But I was in love with him. Like, if you were to read my journals from high school, I'd be like, I'm so in love with so-and-so.
She got mad at me once because I think she thought I had a crush on him and was like, oh my God, I love him. Like, you can't have a crush on him.
Yeah. So
she's obsessed with him.
What?
You were obsessed with him
at the time. But
yes.
Okay.
Not anymore, obviously.
Obviously. We don't even talk. And we won't. Anyways, he was a childhood friend of both of us, though. I do want to put that out there because he was like a family friend. Like, if he lived behind us, so my parents were very close with him. He grew up with all of our friends. He was in like the friendship circle. And this is also, I want to take us back to a place where Katie, in her idiotic brain, believed that men and women could be friends. I have said since then I don't actually believe that's possible, and this is maybe like exhibit A. Okay. So again, and I also used to believe I could be better friends with guys than I am with women, which is also just absolutely not true. Like, if we could go on another rant about women who only have men friends. Okay,
I just want to put a PSA. I have 10% battery right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this
we're gonna wrap
real
this
fast. I invited my friend,
all right, the reality,
to my wedding.
This man friend,
and everybody's so excited to see him. First off, everybody.
Okay, you're not wrapping this up.
To wrap it up, we all go out together like 2 nights before the wedding for the bachelor party, and the two parties end up coming together at the end of the night. And he ends up basically. Do you want to share this part?
I'm sharing this because you're not fast enough. Also, there's really only one thing you need to know. He professed his love to Katie the night before she got married.
No, 2 nights before.
2 nights before she got married. He basically told her, I don't know why it's not me and you doing this.
Right.
2 nights before she gets married. Mind you, this is someone she was like in love with at some point. They like
as a child.
But doesn't that kind of fuck with your brain when they're telling you this? Like,
it was the most, and I want
like, what a mind fuck.
The only benefit of that I'm giving him is that he was probably very drunk, but it was the most selfish thing a person could possibly do to somebody else who's about to walk down the aisle.
Yeah, because he knew he had to have known how much you liked him.
I'm positive he did because I wrote him a handwritten letter before I went off to college.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's so embarrassing. I'm sorry for every ex I ever wrote a handwritten letter.
I hope that is burned.
I hope every man I ever wrote a handwritten letter or made a scrapbook for.
Ew, did you make scrapbooks for men?
I've made scrapbooks for almost all my boyfriends, and I put like I would write like paragraphs.
You know what? I think I've done that for a couple too.
I really hope they burned them. They had to have. They probably
probably threw them away. Yeah, let's be real.
So anyway, this is just the point. I don't think you can be friends with an ex, and I definitely don't think you can invite them to a wedding, but people somehow do it.
We do know. I know people that have friends that are exes.
Do you know what the circumstances?
I think that they just were young. Like, they always go back to, like, we were so young. Think about it. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. If you dated that person 10 years ago, maybe I feel like you could be friends.
I feel like Adam's not super jealous, but I think he'd be like concerned if I was friends with an ex still.
I just
like he'd be like, why are you hanging out with blah blah blah?
Maybe it's different though if if it wasn't very serious or if you really didn't love them, because
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I think I had one boyfriend in college who was always nervous about an ex that I was still friends with. And the minute we broke up, I hooked up with the ex.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I don't know how people do it.
I'm also I can be very jealous. And I had a boyfriend that was friends with an ex, and she'd show up to the parties that we were at and they'd talk all night and they'd have these inside jokes, and she had giant tits and she was gorgeous. And I'd just be like,
how'd that end up?
He broke up with me.
He's like, this is my ex.
But I was trying to be the cool girl and like hold it together, where I was like, it's not a big deal, because he was older than me, so I was trying to act cool about it. And then eventually it got to me enough where I was like, why are you friends with her? And then he ended up, it kind of backfired on me, where he's like, I'm not gonna be dating you if you're gonna be like this.
So I knew somebody who, this is a terrible story. And honestly, he never said it was bad, but I looked at it. I dated a man who his ex-girlfriend had him plan her wedding.
What?
Yeah. So he worked in banquets and hospitality. She booked the wedding where he worked, and he had to plan it and conduct the whole thing, the whole night, as she got married to her partner. Isn't that terrible?
That's weird.
That's horrible. And he was like, "Oh, I'm so thankful I get to plan your wedding." But I was like, that's so mean of her.
I think you could not have possibly really romantically loved that person to be able to do that. Right?
I think he was just too nice and couldn't say no. But but to me, I'm just like, isn't that evil of her? I think that's crazy.
Who in the world, out of all the places you can have a wedding,
why would you even want your ex there?
Why would you pick the place your ex would host?
Yeah, I don't know.
That is a weird, fucked up
crazy
person.
things. Okay, so I guess we're in agreement. We don't think you can be friends with your ex. I would love to hear from people who are friends with their ex, and I'd love to know the circumstances. I think honestly though, if I dated a man and he said he was like gay after we dated because he had like an awakening, I think I could be friends with him.
Totally,
like 100%. But I'm just saying, if I don't know, if they're like still straight and like, I mean, it's not that I feel like I'm tempted I'm gonna do something, but I think I just hold on to all the baggage, and I'd be like, oh yeah, we fought about this, this, and this. I don't know if we could be friends. We can be acquaintances. I have one ex that lives in the area, and I've ran into him a couple times, and he always is super, super nice. But I would never go like hang out with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think it's a red flag.
What's a red flag?
If you hang out with your ex. I know.
So what about your friend that you said has a friend that's with an ex? What do you think about her?
I don't think they hang out.
Oh, they're just like cordial.
Yeah, like they check in with each other.
Like with oh, that's weird. Like why?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't get it either.
I don't get it. I think that they need a new check-in buddy.
I think I'm just getting to a place where like I don't need that from anybody. But I do remember when I was younger, and like this isn't that long ago. This is probably like a few years ago.
A couple months back.
No, it was probably a couple years ago. Like just wanting somebody to like text or like feeling lonely.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe in those scenarios, it's like an easy text.
I get that. And I also get if you're like not in a relationship, right? Like that's another thing. But if you've moved on, I don't know if you need your ex as a friend. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I agree. What are you trying to prove here?
Okay. Well, that wasn't much of a debate.
that wasn't much study. Whatever. Okay, well, we're just haters. But that does remind me of like how many cringy times, oh my God, how many cringy times you've reached out to someone because you're like in a dark place. That's terrible and cringy, but we all have our times. But you know what a friend recently reminded me of?
What?
Remember when everyone was on Facebook back like 10 years ago in college? And we would literally write our emotions as our status.
Oh, yeah.
That's embarrassing.
We're so lucky, though. We just had, like, away messages we wrote.
No. Facebook statuses.
Okay. I mean, I think I've deleted my oldest of Facebook, so it does not exist.
Oh, yeah. No, I did, too. It's gone.
But I do sometimes see, I think my current Facebook goes back, like, 14 years.
Okay.
And some of those are really funny. Like, they're like lyrics of a song.
All I can think about is one of my friends, her ex-boyfriend at the time, posted, I'm just sitting out here watching airplanes take off and fly.
I bet 60% of men posted that.
Okay, so it's a country song, but we lived in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and there's actually airplanes that go over us. So that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, I have very vivid memories of these. And she's like, you need to do a deep dive into those old statuses. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't get it back because I don't know where they are. Like I deleted that Facebook so long ago.
The only time I see them is when they show up on my Facebook memories.
I don't want to see it.
What is Facebook memory doing? Because that's damaging. Every time I open it, I'm like, are they trying to make me sad?
Yeah, are they trying to make me hate myself?
Like, this is so sad.
Oh my God. I just remember laying in bed in college, listening to Taylor Swift, just so sad about the one boy that broke up with me 800 times. And I bet you 100% of my statuses are about him.
Yes, totally.
Like, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, think about, like, in a custody arrangement, how much dirt they'd have on me if they could print those out. Like, this crazy-ass woman.
She's crazy. Oh, my gosh. You know what's so my Facebook goes back far enough that it is in the time frame that I met my ex-husband.
Oh, Lord.
And I would post, like, heartbreak lyrics in the beginning of our relationship.
You want to know a red flag?
You want to know a red flag?
Katie, why are you
like
posting like heartbreak when you're just
when
got
you're
married?
just starting?
Yeah.
Because that's how I was feeling.
I also, though, we've always been a sucker for like a sad
We love
or a
sad
melancholy
songs.
song.
Yeah.
I honestly started probably a year ago really trying not to listen to sad songs because I love sad songs. I
Yeah.
will cry to any song that has emotional lyrics. And I love to post them because I'm like, these are so beautiful.
It's like poetry.
You know what was a funny one that was posted? This wasn't necessarily sad, but First Burn in
Oh, I love that song.
what is it from?
Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Yeah.
So you know the song Burn is about Alexander Hamilton cheating on Eliza. But they made another song that never got released called First Burn. And you know how Spotify has like your top 5 songs? That came up as like number 1 for me this year.
Oh, nice.
And somebody reached out and they're like, so has Adam been cheating on you? Or like, why do you love that song so much?
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
oh my God, it's just an amazing song.
Because it's a fucking masterpiece. Are you kidding me? Listen to the song.
I literally like will belt my heart out
Oh, yeah.
and my kids love that song too. Like they'll belt their hearts out with
Totally.
it. But it's just like a sad song I enjoy. But now I've been trying to listen to like more upbeat songs because I'm like I'm thinking like you are what you ingest type thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to be like more upbeat.
Totally.
But I love a good sad song.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna post it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about people posting like just their feelings in general? Because I know during your divorce you were a culprit. You posted quite a bit.
Did I?
Yes, you were very vividly.
I think I was posting a lot of songs, which could be like very easily interpreted.
Yes. Yes. How do you feel about people posting like a lot about their emotions and stuff?
You know what? I'm honestly I don't get annoyed by it. I think that cuz this isn't the same thing, but I've had friends that kind of they get annoyed when people post too much of their children or too much of their love life or whatever. Or in this case too much about what they're going through. And what I'd like to say to those people is you get to
look away.
Turn your phone off. Yeah, because this is an outlet for so many people, social media in general. I mean, of course, people are gonna have regrets because, like, you look back in a few years and you're like, "Oh God, that's so embarrassing now." But also, you can always choose to not scroll and not look. And for other people, this is, and I go back to self-expression, freedom of speech. That's the coolest thing about social media is you have the right to say or do whatever, not do everything, but like to an extent, you have the right to use it as a tool of self-expression. And I don't judge anybody. I honestly, I love vulnerability.
Me too.
I'm never not going to. If the more people are vulnerable, the more I'm like interested in that.
I think that's my thing because I think at the time I heard one of your friends say, "Oh, people that post so much, like clearly they're not in a good space.
They're not happy." Yeah.
But I just don't think that's true. First of all, I want to say the year we adopted Susie was the happiest year of my life. And I was posting a million pictures of her every single day. But so I know that's not true. But second of all, if you care that much, then don't look. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. Also, I am like, I will be your number 1 fan. Like, if you are going through something and you are posting because you want to release it, honestly, there are worse things you could do. Please release it, and I will love the shit out of it.
And you'd be surprised how many people relate to what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And I think that we don't have a lot of time left, so I want to wrap this up. But I do, because I've been in this space where I've been deeply unhappy, and we know this. I was married. I was with somebody for 10 years, and I was unhappy a lot. A lot. Every day was work in that relationship.
But you were a big hater back then.
I was the meanest person. If you talk to me, I was such a hater.
Yeah.
I was so mean. I was so critical of everybody around me. I now can look at that and be like, wow, that is the sign of an unhappy person because I know I've done that.
I think that's the thing is whenever I feel triggered by something, I try to like reflect and be like, why is this triggering me? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's not them that's the problem. It's something internal in me.
It's projecting.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I have a new topic for next week.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Okay, well,
because it has something to do with this.
We'll wrap it up and we'll say and next week.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, I want to talk about that next week.
Projecting?
I want to talk about people judging others' outfits and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that's the same thing. Like, if you're bugged by somebody's outfit choice. Okay.
Let's do it.
So,
how does everybody feel about my Slytherin sweatshirt?
How does everyone feel about my vest with nothing under it?
I'm actually a Gryffindor, but I once believed, when I hated myself, I thought I was a Slytherin.
Yes. Although Slytherin, let's give them power, Katie.
I know.
They're good.
They're not bad people.
I'm a Ravenclaw through and through. So,
and we come from parents that were Hufflepuffs.
So, Hufflepuffs produce...
Shout out to the Hufflepuffs.
2 Hufflepuffs produced a Ravenclaw and a... What are you?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Hey,
and shout out to our England listener. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
We love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to this week's Twin Study. Please send in your comments and questions. Find us on Instagram and TikTok. We love you. Rate, subscribe, and share.
And follow us on Instagram because
Katie, I already said that.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Jeez Louise.
Okay.
Louise. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. It's Sally. We're going to leave our story there for today and pick up next week on Twin Study After Dark. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, please rate, review, and subscribe. We'll meet again next week for more Twin Studies. Bye.